Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to see what are the wrong answers and why it was wrong. So in the previous video I did the test and I got 85%. So I need to check uh, what were the 9 incorrect answers, and let's see. So view questions results. So I'm going to see from question 1. So you have a Power BI model with the two tables, products group A, products group B. You create a calculated table named product list with the following DAX expression. Intersect I marked as all rows from the product A that do not have a matching row in product B. It should be all rows from the product group A table that have matching row in product group B. Yeah, it should be intersect. I think I totally missed that. I just marked it as do not matching. It should be the like A minus B in the set. It should be something like this for this one. So yeah, correct answer should be the fourth one. Then next question was the pen configure reference line for visualization and create forecast. So analytics is the correct answer. You can see what are other options, why other options are incorrect as well. You can pause the video and look at it. Next, it is question number 3. What type of visualization Power BI compares revenue and cost over time? So obviously we'll have a line chart. Waterfall charts shows the cumulative effect of positive and negative values, not trends over time. So that's why you can see other options as well. So this is also correct. It is easier to manage membership when many users need the same RLS role. This one is when setting what settings should be disabled. So loading data to the model. For this answer we are focusing on the wrong answer rather than the correct one, but you can pause the video and check the other options as well. So it is standard mode. I think I said master mode is not correct mode. As you can see, it is not there is no master mode. Next one, what happens when the data type of column is set to fixed? So yeah, the values in the column are rounded to 4 decimal places. So I was correct in this case. Next one, this is also query folding, row grouping capabilities, group rows with the same name. It doesn't translate transformation. Query sorting queries is not a capability of Power BI. Table relation detection is incorrect. Finding related tables is not done through query folding. So 9 is what is the maximum number of apps? So it is 1. So this is incorrect. I had to choose 2. How many I chose? I think I just chose 1, or I think I chose this one, which was incorrect. So in the visual, apply conditional formatting to the font for the negative values, but it is saying in the visual option set the number of decimal places to 2. Configure the measure to use the custom number format with the 2 decimal places. I'm not sure, because they're talking about the negative color to be displayed in the red font. That's why I think I marked this as for the font, but I'm not sure both are saying the same thing, custom number. I'm not sure about the negative one. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. So next one is what is the main benefit of splitting date time into separate? I said it speeds up time intelligence calculation, but the actual answer it improves data compression and reduces model size. So this should be the correct answer. I thought it was the time intelligence. Splitting date time does not directly improve the time intelligence performance. Okay, it's correct. Splitting the date and time into separate columns reduces the number of distinct values, which improves compression and reduce overall data size model. Okay, this is the correct answer then. Okay, next one is it is correct. What do parameters help with the Power BI? So it is adding manual changes in the multiple places, so you can see why others are not correct. Replace all error values with null values, we can do it in Power Query. And next one, it is incorrect. So let's say create 3 copies of the data table, one for each foreign key. And that's what I mark. Rename the data table due date and use DAX to create calculated tables for order date and delivery date. Okay, so using one, rename the data table due date, then create calculated columns, calculated tables for order date and delivery date. I'm not sure whether it is connecting to sales table or not. Rename the, I think in every sales table and date table, sales table and date table, the sales table contains due date, order date. Okay, yeah, all the dates are there in the sales table. That's why renaming this due date and to create calculated tables for order date and delivery date. Okay, so let's see the next one. Okay, this is correct one. In the Power Query, use the formula bar to update the path applied, this one, and you can see why others are not correct. Here this is also correct. Filter both relationship for the cross filtering, you can see why others are not correct. Use DAX function allows you to override row context filter when calculating a measure. Again, you can see why others are incorrect. So for example, you can see filter is incorrect. Filter function will allow additional filters, not remove filters. So these are going to be helpful, so please go through these explanation. Next one is also correct. Use calculate to active and inactive relationship. It should be user use relationship. And other, let's see other one, active relationship is incorrect. There is no active relationship function in DAX. Calculate relationship, I think this calculates value using active relationship. It does not active inactive relationship, so it will just calculate the active relationship. Enable relationship is incorrect. There is no enable relationship function in DAX. The next one is a bridging table containing unique values that relate to two table. This is the correct answer. You can see why other options are incorrect. Similarly, in Power Query, transformations should be used to make the first row. So it is pretty simple. Use first row as a header. And this one, what component is required to refresh an on-premise data gateway, because we are talking about the on-premise data source. This is the, you have .csv file, create a new column by example starting with this and set the data type to 2. I was confused about this one also, but obviously because we had the data type, so that's why this is the correct answer, not the last one. So what happens when you calculate with the filter that conflict with the existing, because calculate is going to override the existing filter. What is the difference between active relationship and inactive relationship between two tables in the data table? Only one active relationship can exist between two tables at a time. So that is the question, that is the answer. And we had, I think, similar question later as well. What feature in Power BI allows user to synchronize slicer and filter selection across multiple report pages? It is sync slicer. Bookmark is incorrect. Bookmark save and restore the state of report page, including visual selection, but do not synchronize slicer across pages. And selection pane is incorrect. The selection pane shows what visuals are selected on a given report page, but it does not synchronize selection across pages. Drill through is incorrect. Drill through allows users to navigate from a summary view to deeper details, but it does not synchronize slicer state across pages. So the correct answer is sync slicers. So here the answer is correct. From the Power BI text of connect to the set BI finance dataset from the Power BI service, create a new report and select the published BI finance dataset. Which workspace artifact cannot be endorsed? So I said data source. You can see is the correct answer. Data source cannot be promoted or certified directly, but the dataset that use them can be. Dataset can be endorsed, data flow can be endorsed, reports can be endorsed. So this is incorrect. You have which two actions? So I said from the Power BI DAX modify the report setting, from the Power BI service modify the report setting. So for the Power BI it was the dataset permission, not the report setting. So let's see if from the Power BI service modify the report setting is correct. Oh, and this one is incorrect. From Power BI desktop modify the report setting, so it should be only Power BI, not the Power desktop. Yeah, because it is talking about the report, but I have marked desktop as well, so obviously it should be because we are talking about users, it should be Power BI service. So yeah, those should be the correct answer, because from the data set is incorrect. Power report setting in Power BI desktop do not control data export once the report is published to the Power BI service, and modify the data load setting in the Power BI desktop is incorrect. Data load setting in the Power BI desktop do not control the data export once the report is published to the Power BI service. So yeah, the answer should be from the Power BI service. Where can you configure scheduled data resources for a data set in a Power BI? So it is data set settings, and you can see why others are incorrect. Similarly, create a percentile using the salary measures and set the percentile to 50%. This is a direct query. I was confused about live connection as well. Let's see. Live connection is incorrect. In live connection mode, the data is queried in real time but not stored in the same source. Okay, so direct query, the data remains in the source system and is queried in real time when visuals are rendered. So live connection is data is queried in real time but not stored in the source system. Here the data will remains in the source system, because the question says remains in the source system, that's why direct query is the answer. What capabilities are the treat as DAX function does? So using columns from one table to filter another table. What capability does context transition provide in DAX formulas? So obviously switching from row context to filter context. Then what are two ways to reduce model size? So change data types to be more efficient and summarize the data where possible. Which Power BI feature allows you to combine multiple columns into single column? It is merge column. When will the status of data sources credential stored in the Power BI gateway shows as expired? When the password of the user associated with the credential was changed. I was thinking about this one as well. When the type of authentication for data sources credential is changed. When the type of authentication for the data source credential is changed, it's incorrect. When the type of authentication from the data source is changed, it is incorrect, because it provides conditions that do not directly affect the validity of the user's credential and password. So it would not cause the credential status to change to expired. You have Power BI report, and yeah, you need lay order in the selection pane. What information does the impact analysis provide? So it is the report and the dashboard using data set. Which user role enables sensitivity labels? It is the BI administrators. Which Power BI license type allows user to create new workspace? So it is I was guessing it was Pro, because in free we cannot create. 3 operations in Power Query. Obviously these are the 3 3 common operations that we see. And in the Power BI desktop, modify the data source setting for each existing data sources is the correct answer, and you can see why others are incorrect. What is recommended to change made to Power BI reports are reflected in dashboard tile based on the report, deleting the existing dashboard tile and ripping the visual from the report. How many inbuilt data connectors does Power BI currently support? I was guessing it was over 100, and you can see it is 100, over 100. 200 is incorrect. While Power BI supports over 100 built-in data connectors, the number is not as high as 200. What is the maximum number of active relationship? We have already covered this one. It should be 1. What is the main difference between calculated columns and measures? Obviously measures is for the aggregate values and calculated columns for each row. What DAX function calculates year to date? So this is date, so YTD. What Azure service for the real-time streaming? It is Azure Stream Analysis. And here analyze their performance and understand what factors drive sales. So it should be key influencer visuals. So this one is incorrect. Let's see. You have a Power BI model that contains the data tables and the I think it was the summarize, but let's see. It says add columns. Add columns is incorrect. It's correct. The add columns functions allows adding calculated columns to the table, which can be used to create the required calculated tables with unique combination of year, quarter, and a month. Okay. Yeah, summarize should be with the aggregation, but calculate. Okay, calculate could be also the answer. So yeah, okay, add column is the answer in this case. You are creating report in Power BI desktop and loaded the data extract, so this is incorrect. Add a DAX calculated column in the report that calculates the length of the column 1. So I thought by adding it is going to increase the model size, but it seems like it is not the case. We have to add a calculated column. It is not going to, yeah, DAX is also not going to impact on the model or add load on the model. Okay, so you can see why others are incorrect as well. Only this third option is correct. This is also incorrect. In order to create the alert, I set pin a card visual to dashboard and set an alert on the tile, but the correct answer, it seems like, is pin a report page to a dashboard and set an alert on the page. Okay, pin a card visual to dashboard and set an alert on the tile is incorrect. Alerts rule can only be set on the dashboard tiles pinned from the report pages, not standalone visuals. Okay, that was the reason why it is wrong. So here we have to create the Azure Active Directory group, and then another option is this one. You can see why other options are incorrect. This one is you attempt the file was moved to a different location, or you do not have the permission to access the file. You can see why other options are not correct. In Power Query menu, aggregate the values, so obviously it is group by. And let's see, pivot column is maybe just for one column values into rows. It does not aggregate values across rows. Columns values into rows, it will aggregate some values only. How can you view usage metrics for the dataset in Power BI? So usage metrics are not available. So in the dataset page, okay, in the dataset page in Power BI, usage metrics reports can be accessed from the dataset setting page to understand query frequency and performance. You can see why others are incorrect. Usage metrics are not available. It's incorrect. Usage metrics are available for the dataset in the setting page. So this is also correct, where clause in the SQL statement to only import the subset of the order data, and you can see why other are not correct. and this one is also correct. This is decomposition tree. Next one is in the create a Azure Active Directory and then control it. Last one is replace null values with 0, and obviously we are calculating the item per order, average per order and something like that, so we need to replace the null values with the 0. So you can see these are all the questions that were um, uh, like correct and incorrect as well, but I can see what are the incorrect answer. You can see 9 incorrect answer. So I hope you uh, take the advantage of this practice set, and that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.